Excellent.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that, Justin.
No problem.
He gets another grand entrance.
I know. I don't like going to the bathroom. All right, so like I said, my name is Justin, and I'm the CEO of Hummingbird. And so what Hummingbird is we are a food sharing economy. And our goal is to solve a major global problem, which is food waste. Right now, 40% of the food in this country goes to waste, 30% globally, like Timothy was mentioning before. So what we built mobile and web technology that allows anyone to sell, share, or donate food in less than 60 seconds, anywhere, anytime. So before I jump into some of the bigger problems, like we just mentioned, let's first talk about the sharing economy. So I'm sure that many of you are familiar with Airbnb and Uber. These sites are everywhere. And really, in the course of the last 4 years, these companies have absolutely exploded. So Airbnb right now has a $10 billion valuation. Uber has a $17 billion valuation. And one of the things that they've done really well is that they've been able to leverage wasted space. So people in their homes have extra space, and so they can rent that out and make money on it. Uber, people with their cars. So what we're seeing is that the next big sharing economy is food. You know, it's in our cellular DNA to share food with one another. So this is the kind of world that we want to create. So let's talk about those big problems again. So 30% of food is wasted globally. That's a retail value of $1 trillion. It's a huge amount of food. The cost of food is increasing 15 to 20%. And this is due to climate change. You know, droughts like we find ourselves in right now. These are major impacts. Income inequality is at an all-time high. We've never had a bigger income inequality yet. And over 1 billion people are experiencing chronic hunger. So this is terrible. That's 1 in 7 people. And as Alvaro mentioned, there's 9 billion people coming by the year 2040, and the UN saying that we're going to need to increase food production by 70%. And then finally, 4% of agriculture is organic, which I appreciate you talking about the importance of organic. So it's a broken food system, and we're looking to co-create a new one here. I'm working with great entrepreneurs like Alvaro and Christine over here. So a little bit about Hummingbird as a company. We're a quadruple bottom line company. We are for profit, but we're people, planet, profit, and spirituality. And by spirituality, what we mean is that we prioritize the well-being of our team members as our primary path to business success. We're diving a little bit more into this food waste issue. Here's the facts that are really just alarming. So 20% of produce never even makes it off the farm. So this is due to things like slight imperfections. So a peach is a little bit too big or too small. If a peach is a quarter of an inch off, it doesn't make it through wholesale standard pack lots, and it doesn't get to the grocery store. If there could be a small speck in the peach, it doesn't make it. So 20% of the produce that's being grown is not making it there. 12% is lost in retail and distribution, and 28% is thrown out by consumers. So one thing I would offer up tonight is, you can remember this, is just be very mindful of the food that you eat and throw out, because that's a huge amount of food. And if you take that percentage of 1/3 of our food is going to waste, and 1/7 of the people are hungry on the planet, clearly there's a way to solve this problem in a different way. So here's our mobile technology. And I mentioned before that you can sell, share, or donate food on the go in less than 60 seconds. So here someone can actually just post and say, hey, I'm posting something for sale. It's for free to share with somebody maybe in my community, or it's for a donation. And so a donation would be to an actual 501c3 registered nonprofit or food bank, where the farmer or whoever's donating can get a tax credit. And what's great about our mobile technology too is, as you see with sites like Uber, you can actually track the real-time location of things too. So a farmer could actually be down in the city delivering a pallet of strawberries and get 20 cases turned away by a major distributor, and in less than 60 seconds can pop it on their phone, and someone can actually see and meet up with that farmer on their next stop and get those strawberries instead of it going back to the farm and being composted. I'm totally for composting, but there's a lot of water being used to grow food. There's a lot of cost being incurred to be able to pick that food and then drive it all the way to the city. I'd rather have someone eat it first, especially people who are hungry. So on the flip side of that, so now farmers can get rid of this excess food. It can be something as large as a pallet or 10 truckloads that they want to donate to a 501c3. On the flip side, individuals and professional food buyers are going to be able to find free, heavily discounted, or the finest local food in places they might not expect. So this platform, the way we built it, it actually allows for so many different types of use cases. Even a home gardener can post their excess produce and share it with people in their community. So I mentioned the farmer surplus and seasonal thing. We're also going to have 750,000 public fruit trees on Hummingbird. So this is kind of cool. So there's 750,000 public fruit trees nationally where you can go and just pick free food. So you think about lemon trees on city streets, and you can go and grab that food, which is great. So all these things can be present on the platform. When you connect with the person that's donating the food, like Alvaro was mentioning, that the software needs to be really simple. So what we have here is simple text messaging functionality. After 3 years of working with farmers and getting to know them, we know that they're not going to use anything too detailed. So, but they do text message. That's the way restaurant food buyers connect with farmers. And so what's also cool about this platform is, like an Uber platform, there's cashless exchanges. So if you set your price and say it's $10, you can simply send a payment request to the person who's buying it, and that money takes place easily. So if you don't have cash, you don't have a check, you don't really fully trust the person, whatever, you can do those simple cashless exchanges. And what we're also working on developing too is giving people the opportunity to build out a private network. So you can actually have a private friend network like you do on Facebook of your friends, your community members, your neighbors, and so you may feel more comfortable sharing food with those people instead of random strangers. So we're going to give you the tools to be able to do that, follow your favorite businesses, so it's going to be a very social experience as well. The way that we make money is that we take a simple 3% fee on those cashless transactions. If it's a cash or a check transaction, if you say, hey, I'm going to pay by cash or check, then it's free. So our model is very similar to like an Etsy. Etsy takes 3.5% margins on their sharing economy business. And then also we'll offer premium features for B2B buyers and sellers, like Alvaro mentioned, analytics, these kind of things are important to people. And then sponsorships from value-aligned companies. So you think about Vitamix, taking food that's number 2 produce that would otherwise go to waste and turn that into amazing organic smoothies. That's a good thing, and so we want to get companies like that behind it. So as far as our leadership team, I've been doing the entrepreneurial thing for about 6 years, and I think I've made enough mistakes now to feel like I know what I'm doing. And we have an exceptional Chief Technology Officer, Michael Miller. So this guy develops great code. We got people who are truly passionate about the space. One of our guys was the lead food buyer for Fruit Guys, which is a major distributor here of fruit. On our board of directors, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with these people, but Paul Hawkins is a global leader in sustainability. He actually started the first natural grocery store in the United States. And so he's been around, he's been doing entrepreneurship for 48 years, he taught it on PBS for 12 years. So he's kind of our wisdom on our board of directors. And then Tom Zaki, this young guy, if you haven't heard about him, he's coming quickly. He's rated the #1 CEO under the age of 30 by Inc. magazine. And what he's doing is he's eliminating the idea of waste as far as products. So when you have products that you can't recycle, TerraCycle allows you to send them to them, and then they'll create new products out of it. So a most extreme example is that they take cigarette butts and they turn them into eyeglasses. And so you think, well, that sounds like a cool business, but what's amazing is that they're now in 35 countries reaching 28 million people. 28 million people are collecting their waste that's not recyclable and sending it to TerraCycle, and they're turning it into new products. So all those people that are passionate about eliminating product waste are great customers for what we're doing, eliminating food waste. It's a really easy transition. And that young guy there, he got 7,000 hits in the press for TerraCycle last year. That's how they've been able to get to 35 countries, which is just amazing. So he's a kind of a PR guru, very young. So what we're doing right now as far as going to market, we've created several partnerships. So Falling Fruit, as you see here, that's actually an organization that's been, over the last many years, aggregating all the data on public fruit trees from public resources, user-generated. So we have our first commercial partnership with them to be able to feature that on our app. The Agricultural Institute of Marin, which is around where we're located, they represent 250 farmers. So we're working with them to get the word out at the farmers markets that they run, as well as working with their farmer members to find the solution that's going to work for them for the long haul. And then also, as I mentioned, with TerraCycle, and we're talking to Rodell Publishing, these are two organizations. TerraCycle accesses 28 million people, and Rodell Publishing accesses 40 million people. So these are people that we want to get the word out to and really spread the word. And our goal at scale is we'd love to create the real farm bill on Facebook, where people can actually share. And there's a billion people on Facebook, and food really connects the world, so it connects people. And so we'd love to form a partnership with them someday, and also maybe do some local delivery with a Lyft or Uber. Oops. Try to sit back here. having PowerPoint problems.
Forgot to mention our sponsor, Adobe.
And so what the market size is for this. So I mentioned before, it's $1 trillion of food, but we're not going to be selling it for the normal retail price in a lot of these segments. So retail and grocery cat stock, we got that estimated at $15 billion. For food, it was $15 billion. And homegrown produce, $5 billion industry as far as excess produce at your home. So we're envisioning a world where everybody is growing food and sharing food with one another. And now, of course, we've been talking about regulation and laws. So you guys know that Airbnb and Uber have had a very reckless kind of attitude with going into new places and entering new markets. So, but for the most part, they've been able to strike win-win solutions. So places like Malibu, California, they're now charging a tax on all their Airbnb rentals that satisfy their problem. Or Uber is, validating people in New York City as far as their taxi drivers. And there's also things that are changing. The California Cottage Food Act allows people to prepare homemade foods in their home and sell them. So again, people can actually create businesses out of their homes. Zoning laws are changing, especially here in the Bay Area, for home gardeners to be able to sell their produce. So that's great. And as far as food donations, which is a huge part of what we're doing, getting this food through food banks, the Good Samaritan Food Act actually universally protects food providers from liability to donate food. And then the other thing we're doing with these private networks is, this is kind of happening every day. People are sharing food or excess from their homes. It's kind of, you're doing that right now with your friends and family and close neighbors and so forth. So that's, it's a great way to stop that. So that's what we got so far. We appreciate you guys hearing about Hummingbird.
Thank you, Justin. That was great.